Alright, what's up YouTube? Fish fam. Today I'm gonna give you a update on how things been going in this tank so far. Starting with the light. The Beamsworth Work light has been doing pretty good. I mean, as you can see, it's still shining and everything like that. Only thing I did discover compared to the Hygger light over here is that this light, once you turn it back on, the setting that you have it left, or the intensity, how you have it left, that's how it will stay when you turn it on and off, including with the timer. Theme works, in other words, once you turn the light off and turn it back on, it goes right back to being at the brightest setting. That's just something to note if you intend on using the timer at any time for this. But for me, it's no big deal because I don't use a timer. I actually come in here and turn on the light and interact with my tanks. I mean, I tried the timer to see how they work, but I like it better interacting with the tank itself. Coming in, seeing the fish and everything swimming about, and feeding them and all that cool stuff. Also, as you can see, this tank is loaded with algae, all on the plants, the rocks, the wood, the glass. I clean this stuff off the glass and do my best to get it off the plants. Not very great, but somewhat, as much as I can. And it obviously builds up like crazy. This Anubis here has new growth. So that bright green leaf, which should be darker, but I have liquid fertilizer for that. But as you see, the algae is all over. Now, you may be asking, what do I have in the tank for algae? Well, I have 3 clown plecos that you never hardly see. Hardly ever see. And they stay within this little, I guess their little paradise. I would hope in one would have popped its head out so I could have saw it, but no, nothing whatsoever. But they stay in there, and that's all you see of them. So I'm gonna have to probably go to the pet store and buy something else, which I will update that in a later video as well, to help with the algae. Now, one thing is, I noticed that this light is bright enough to where it may be the light that's causing it. I do have it by this window, but for it to spread way across over there, most likely it's the light. I mean, I can see the glass over here being filled with algae. I can understand that because the window and stuff. But other than that, algae issues. I don't like putting chemicals in my tank to clear up algae. And I'm not, gonna talk down to people that do, because it's just probably an easier solution and everything else also to deal with these kind of things, especially if you want to just go out there buying different fish and everything to do the job. But I just don't, that's just my preference. So other than that, the tank's been doing great. I mean, my Congo tetras have been doing great. I mean, the geos have been doing really good, and the little guys that I've ordered a while back, as you've seen in the previous video that you may have not watched or may have watched. If you're new to the channel, please go back and check out that video. But these guys have been doing great. I still have all 4. I'm trying to spot them. They're eating. I just fed the tank, so you have to forgive me for not being able to spot all of them at the same time. But that's 2, that's 3, and 4 is somewhere. It's probably in the back of the wood, like always, eating his favorite spot. But yeah, I mean, everybody's been doing good. Everybody has. And it seemed like nobody's picking on nobody. I was still kind of concerned about the bigger ones picking on the smaller guys, but that has not been the case. I mean, there has been no picking or fin nipping or chasing or, I mean, anything like that so far. And I would like to say safe to say it's not going to happen if it hasn't happened yet. But these are fish, and we all know how fish can turn heel at any given moment. So there they go. See, there go the 1, 2, 3, and fourth one just came out. And I'm trying to show y'all that all 4 of them are still alive. But yeah, that bad boy came out, and there it is. 4. It's in between. It's like it's making a home in there. But yeah, it's in there. So there it is. See? Like it's making a home or something, but it's all good. So I was very pleased to know that there's no, as of right now, there is no aggression in the tank. I also had issues with these canister filters. These Sunsun, they were making a loud, buzzing, rattling sound. So I took them apart. I cleaned the impellers on them and did all the cleaning, like again. Nothing. Just kept going back to it. It kept doing the same thing. Then I waited a couple of days to see if it sorts itself out. And it didn't. So I decided, okay. I read some forums where, I don't know if this applies to all of them or to whoever, but in case you're wondering, at least with the Sunsun 704B, I noticed when I took out media, what I mean by that, because I had like, ooh, man, there's 4 baskets. I had 3 baskets full. All of my sponges at the bottom. You know how the water flows down and comes back up. So I took out some media and I separated the sponge. I had the tray with all the sponges just packed. And it doesn't need to be that packed, but that's how I was running it. It was working fine. Well, I mean, cleaning the water-wise, working fine, let me say that. But the issue was the rattling. So I took out some, I'm showing y'all, can't even see the canisters. But anyway, I took out some media, and before you knew it, sound, all that rattling, all that loud buzzing and knocking sound, whatever you want to call it, went away on both of them. On both of them. You still get like a slight hum, but that's expected. I mean, a slight hum. But as far as it being like, oh my God, I can't handle it type of feeling, that is gone. I mean, I'm sitting right here by you, hear a slight hum. I mean, a slight. To be honest with you, the FX6 is making more noise right now, which I'm pretty sure I have to take it apart and clean out whatever sand and everything that got caught in it too. But I'm just saying right now it's noisier than these 2. So that, has to tell you a lot. These canister filters do work great. They do clean the water. They do. I mean, I would suggest getting 2. Don't get one that is rated up to 150 gallons for this size, for a 125 gallon tank, and you go off of that. Maybe one FX6 can handle it because, let's be real, that's what those those filters are. Much as they cost, they should be able to handle it, much as they cost. But other than that, with these here, I suggest getting 2. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to go buy it. Buy that. I'm just saying, if you're interested in I would say, if you're building your aquarium on a budget and you don't want to shell out a lot of money, because those FX6s, I seen them at our PetSmart, they're like about $500 almost, if not more. I think they're closer to $6, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to price check that for y'all and give y'all more of a update on that as well. I'll do that when I go to the pet store and PetSmart. I can't say the pet store. I mean, it is a pet store, but PetSmart. I mean, yeah, I'll give you an update on that pricing. But Yeah, I mean, they're expensive. And they do the job because they filter this whole 235 gallon aquarium. I mean, they do the job, but it's really an overpriced filter. I mean, for what you're spending on one of those, I'm gonna be honest, you might as well get a sump. I mean, for you getting for an FX6, and I'm not bashing them because, like I said, they do the job. They do work. They are fantastic filters. So I'm not bashing them by any means. And I don't want to sound like I'm bashing them by any means. But I'm just saying, if you're going to shell out some money and stuff like that, I would personally suggest getting the sump. That's just my personal opinion. But I can understand some people don't like dealing with the aspect of a sump. So canister filter for them is the way to go. And for me, it was like, I would have got this tank drilled before it got delivered, had them do all that, and would have went with the sump if I was more thinking about how the filtration was going to be set up. But at the time, me and my wife decided to get a tank of that size because we never thought we would even get a tank that size. And mind you, I know it's not the biggest tank there is, just it's a good sized tank for us, you know. If I was thinking more, I would have gotten a sump. When I built the stand, I would have accommodated all that. But I was trying to get the stand built because they say it would take a few weeks for it to get built and brought to us. And, you know, I just rolled with, because first we start off with two of these 704Bs over there, and they were keeping the water clean and clear as well. So it goes to show you, even though I had to use two, but it still showed that, okay, these filters can handle some work, you know, can handle some work. And it was like two more other fish in there before it got narrowed down to that many. So it was keeping up, those were keep, but I had to have two, but still they were a lot cheaper. For those two, it was like 200 some bucks for those two opposed to what I paid for one of the FXs, you know. So just keep that in mind, you know, if you're looking for a filter. You know, you don't have to buy the most expensive one, but if you choose to, that's great. You know, if you want to. It's whatever fits your budget and your needs. Like, same thing with lights. Same thing, whatever fits your budget and your needs. I mean, don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't have, what you shouldn't do. I mean, you know, when it comes down to buying equipment, because if you want it, you're going to get it regardless. So, you know, enjoy the hobby, man. Enjoy the hobby and stuff like that. Don't worry about too much, you know. But yeah, with this tank here, I pretty much just let it, outside of me doing water changes and fighting algae, I let it take care of itself. I mean, I really let it take care of itself. I feed it, tend to the water once a week, and I sit back and enjoy it. I mean, these geos in here are getting real big, you know. I mean, they're growing. And there's some beautiful fish. I mean, they are real beautiful. Can't wait for the redheads to finally start packing on some size. But they grew a little since I've had them. So I think, you know, tank's going to shape up to be quite well. Just got to get this algae under control. Already got my Corys down there. Corridoras down there. They're keeping, you know, outside of what the geos are doing, they're keeping the bottom pretty clean too. So, you know, it's pretty fun tank. Pretty fun tank to look at. As far as the 75 gallon, I know this video is getting long, but just explaining a few things. As far as the 75 gallon goes, here goes Oz. Buddha, my wife named him, or her. And this is what it does when it's upset about something. Oscar's pout. Come on, dude. Entertain us. No? Okay. But yeah. But other than that, I mean, with this tank here, I still got that 407 on here, or the 704. Is it a 407 or something? I think it's the 407. Yeah, I'm getting confused with everything. Yeah, it's a 407. And, well, the water isn't, because when I had just the geos over here and the Congos, and I have the clown pleco, you know, the fish I had over here before with the cories and stuff. That 407 was keeping the water clear. But now I have bigger fish in here, including these three, plus all these little ones. They're not struggling. I mean, like, they're not dying off or anything, but I noticed the water does get very murky looking within the week. So I have to do a water change. I have to drain it pretty far, probably to about right there, more than 50%, just to try to, you know, keep up. So what I'm going to revert to is I'm gonna have to get another filter. Well, I have another filter to put on here. So that's what's gonna have to end up happening. I'm gonna have to run 2 filters on this tank as well because of the fish, the size of them in here. But I mean, beyond that, everybody's eating, swimming around. I mean, the tank is doing fine. Other than the murkiness of the water, I mean, I understand my numbers may not be great in this tank, but I don't chase numbers for reasons, because start chasing numbers, you start losing sight of what you're supposed to be doing with your tank. At least I do. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else. Everybody else can keep track of their numbers, their parameters, and be fine. I just get too complacent, so I stop chasing numbers. Made big mistakes doing that in the past, so I don't do that anymore. And the Severum is doing great and everything. So the electric blue, I think this is the one that killed off like my other 2. Cause I mean, it was like after them. Now it's chilled out. So go figure, right? And then here, same deal, you know. Coming up time for a water change, so I cleans out as much crap as I can get out of here. The giant gourami. Hey, Jelly Bean. Wife named it Jelly Bean. She named this one Caddy, Blue, and Lips. And the other Rhino Pleco back there, I just named it Rhino. That was my name. I know. Pretty corny, but seemed like a cool name. This tank is doing good as well. No issues with it so far. I mean, I've had it for a while, had it up and running for a while. Other one I had to drain the water and break it down to get this floor put down. But other than that, everybody survived. Everybody survived. Thank goodness. Now, this tank here that had Bonanza in it, fortunately, Bonanza passed, but my snails are in here now. And I don't really know what happened. I used to be able to keep betas alive like nothing. Now it's like I struggle with them. And this was my mom's fish, so I told her I'm going to replace it, but I'm going to make sure I have things properly set up. And I think one of the causes were when I was doing water changes on this tank, I was doing them weekly as well. Didn't have a heater in there, and it just, you know, things just didn't pan out well. Mistake of my own, but you know, telling you this because I don't want to keep secrets and, you know, all that stuff. Act like everything went 100% great, like I'm the best fish keeper on the planet. I lose fish, just like I'm pretty sure many others have. Some are honest, some may not. Just, I wouldn't say they lie, but they just don't care to tell, you know, but that's their business. I ain't making videos for all that, you know, but yeah, I mean, other than that, everybody's doing wonderful. So, Jelly Bean, stop. I just said you were doing great, and then you go at you're picking on them. You're picking on them. Leave them alone. You're not picking on them, but it felt like you were picking on them. Leave them alone. Anyways, everybody's doing great in these tanks. Everything's so far so good. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit your notification bell to let you know when I drop another video. And I don't know. Let's try to get this video up to at least, I don't know, 10 likes. I know that shouldn't be too hard. I hope not. I mean, hopefully I can get 10 likes at least. Let me know that people are watching it or care to watch it. But until the next time, catch you later.